Hello everybody, my name's GamerLord4 and welcome back to Battlefront 2. Today we are going to be discussing The Mandalorian Episode 2, Episode 2, and Bad Batch Episode something. Obviously I'm not going to be discussing it by myself. I am of course joined by the one and only Saberdual Gaming.
Hello there.
I need to just refresh my mind of what episode of Bad Batch we're talking about.
I think it was episode 12 or 13, something like that.
I thought it was 11.
It might be. Could be. I thought it was 12, but I also could very well be wrong.
I was about to say, no, it's episode 16, but I'm looking at season 1.
Yeah, that's a bit different.
Episode 12, yeah.
Yeah.
And we didn't talk about episode 11, so episode 11 and 12.
We can do, yeah. We can discuss them both. Did you want to start with the Bad Batch? Or start with Mandalorian? Start with Bad Batch and work up to Mandalorian can be the main event.
Yeah. So, episode 11, Metamorphosis. I did just read the title, I'm going to do that. So, what were your thoughts about the episode?
What was episode 11? Give me a reminder, because I haven't seen that one in a little while.
It was the one where it's the clone of the Zilla Beast.
That one to me felt like, I like the fact that it tied in, because it was sort of a follow-up to a Clone Wars episode, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. They mentioned cloning it in the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And then
this is where you see
followed through with it. And that was like in season 2 of Clone Wars. So I'm surprised that wasn't followed up sooner.
But yeah, I like the fact that
all
they
the
went
mole stuff was followed up like every other episode.
Yeah. No, I like the fact that they went back to that, and I like the fact that it felt like the earliest scenes felt like a little bit of an Aliens vibe, and then the later on scenes, of course, felt like a Godzilla sort of vibe.
Yeah.
It was one of those episodes. It was kind of filler, but it did fit in with because cloning has been very much the overall theme of this.
Yeah. So I wasn't overly. I didn't overly mind that was filler this episode.
Yeah. It was filler, but it was entertaining.
As soon as I saw the creature in like the earliest form, I was just there. I was like, "That's the Zillow Beast."
Yeah. Although it did look very different in its smaller form.
It did. I was thinking just like, oh, like when I saw it like fully, because I was just saying, oh, maybe it's not Zillow Beast, but then obviously it juiced up and became the Zillow Beast that we see in the Clone Wars. Granted, a smaller version of the Zillow Beast in the Clone Wars, but still very much that. And I remember just being sat there screaming at the TV, just like, I know it! So I was very chuffed with myself for remembering a season 2 of Clone Wars, which I haven't seen in a while.
I think I remembered it more because I'd seen that episode quite recently, because a little while ago I started trying to rewatch all the Clone Wars. I can't remember how far I got, but I definitely saw that one fairly recently. But it was an okay episode. It was fine. It was entertaining. But obviously, the fact that I didn't remember it has to be taken into consideration, I suppose.
Yeah.
It obviously wasn't that memorable.
Granted, the last time I saw season 2 of the Clone Wars was during lockdown, when I full-on rewatched the whole of Star Wars in order. So that is the last time I saw one of those. That season. Muppet Features says, it reminds me of a skinny version of the evil Alpha from How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah.
The head of it definitely had a How to Train Your Dragon feel about it. I can see that.
It definitely does. It's like the two-headed ones, minus the horns.
I mean, I'll be honest. I've never watched How to Train Your Dragon.
I remember.
I have seen the sort of the animation for it and everything, but I've never watched it.
It's so good. But yeah, so I enjoyed the episode. It was filler, but it was good filler,
Yeah.
and not like the pod racing quotation marks episode.
However, I would say this week's episode probably deserves a lot more discussion.
Oh, it definitely does. Mainly because it's the
Um,
most recent one, and we can remember it more.
well, that helps. But the fact that Crosshair is in it is always good.
Oh yeah.
But it just, it was, I actually really liked how this one showed
Yeah.
how the Empire is treating the clones and the
Yeah.
sort of the lack of respect that's being shown to them after all they've done.
Mhm.
Is just, it's not surprising because we know the Empire is a big load of douchebags, but
And obviously, they view them as expendable because they are clones.
yeah, yeah. And it's funny because actually in season one, there's the episode with Plo Koon
Yeah.
where the clones themselves actually say that they're expendable, and
They
it's
tell
Plo
them just
Koon that
like no.
says, "No, you're not. No living thing is expendable." And this time around, they're being told, "No, actually, you are expendable."
Yeah. And it's like the I knew the lieutenant was gonna die. I could
Oh,
tell.
he's officially the most hated character in all of Star Wars.
Oh yeah.
It's
I was just saying, it's
like
like you are going to catch a bullet from Crosshairs.
all of the debate as to whether, people hate Jar Jar Binks or the Ewoks or
Nope, Lieutenant
Rey or
whatever his
no,
name
no,
was.
yeah, Lieutenant Douchebag of the Clan McDouche.
Lieutenant, I'm a douche. So Muppet feature said it's awesome, David Tennant.
I assume we're talking that's referencing How to Train Your Dragon.
I'm assuming so.
Is David Tennant in How to
I
Train
don't
Your Dragon?
think so. I don't remember.
Does Muppet Features maybe have a bit of an obsession with David
Oh,
Tennant and
David
had a
Tennant
dream?
is in How to. Who does he play in How to Train Your Dragon? This is where it's going to be
Um,
obvious as soon as she mentions who the
well,
character is.
when it comes to who he plays, that's a very good question. Who?
God damn it.
Ha ha ha!
I like how we've got a
Yes.
side discussion of How to Train Your Dragon going on here.
Went there I did.
Anyhow, who does he play? in How to Train Your Dragon.
Probably a dragon or a dragon trainer.
That Wookiee went flying.
But yeah, I mean, this episode had a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, first of all, I'm going to say it right now. I think Mayday is my new favorite generic clone. I thought he was such a cool character. And the look for his armor with
I
the material wrapped
how
around it,
it's
I thought
like
it was dead cool.
it reminded me of the Star Killer armor where it's the Tatooine.
Yes, yeah,
It
the
reminded
tattered
me of
robes
that.
wrapped around it.
I kept getting that feeling from it. I'm just saying, it's like this is intentional. First we get the somewhat Star Killer mask in Andor, now we have this.
Yeah, nice little nods occasionally there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mayday was a cool character. I did like
I
it.
really liked him. I mean, you knew as soon as he started being nice to Crosshair, you're like, so you're dying.
Yeah, just like literally Crosshair going, oh, everyone who cares about me dies. And I'm just there, it's like, oh god.
Yeah, you're going down, boy. You're going down.
But to be fair,
But,
I was about to
yeah.
say, to be fair, does Crosshair know that they're alive and then they're just yeah, no, they save him, so yeah, they know the other bad
Yeah.
characters are alive.
I mean, yeah. So overall, I thought it was cool seeing it. I mean, but both of the episodes that have really focused on Crosshair have been really good.
I feel like the Crosshair episodes might be the equivalent of the Maul episodes.
Yeah,
so far.
to a degree. Yeah, I get what you mean. There's certainly been some of the more interesting ones.
Yeah.
But
because they're focusing on somewhat the villain of, because he's not really a villain, but he is somewhat.
Yeah.
I mean, after the end of that episode, probably not.
Yeah, it's clear that he sort of had enough of the
Yeah,
Empire, hasn't he?
yeah,
I mean, he wouldn't say he's suddenly a good guy, but he's not with the Empire anymore.
yeah. So
Apparently, good soldiers say "screw you" to orders.
I also like to point out the armor for the new stormtroopers. Well, the stormtroopers, the Phase One
Yeah,
stormtrooper
yeah,
looking at. We're gonna call it. I'm gonna call it
it's the
that.
same armor that was used in Rebels, isn't it, at the start?
No. It is actually the Ralph McQuarrie concept art for the stormtroopers. That's the armor, and I instantly saw that and just said, "It's like, oh my god, this is awesome." I did
I mean,
notice
that
it
is cool.
beforehand, but I don't
I'm,
think we've
I
talked
am
about it.
still pretty sure that that's the armor they used in Rebels, though, in the
No,
first
I think it
season.
was. I think it was something similar, but not to.
Oh, I'll have to check that
Because
out
you're
because I
thinking of
remember
the
looking at
cadet.
the.
You're thinking of the cadet armor, aren't you?
No, I'm sure when you in the first episode of the. I mean, maybe I'll go back and have a little
I
look
don't.
at
I
some
don't
point.
think it is because it's like this is like Rebels is close to like the start of A New Hope, or like a few years before A New Hope, because Princess Leia is in one of the episodes, and so's Lando.
She is.
So it's weird because
I,
some parts of Rebels take place before it, and then closer to the end of the season, I think it's during,
the
and
other thing
then
to remember, though, is that we've seen throughout all of these that
yeah,
just because a new piece of armor comes in doesn't mean other people aren't still wearing the old ones.
that's true.
Because, I mean, like, you've still got the clone troopers walking around at the same time as the stormtroopers.
Yeah, but yeah. So Mando. So we talk about episode one because we haven't talked about episode one either.
Yeah, I mean, I can sum up episode one quite simply. I think
Yeah,
episode one of The Mandalorian, it just felt a little bit underwhelming. It was okay, but it felt
yeah,
like I was describing it to someone a while back as saying, you know the way in a computer game sometimes you start a side quest and then you see it and you go, no, I'm not going to do that. And you go and start another side
yeah.
quest
I'm
and then
pretty
you
sure
go,
you
no, that one's
described it like this to me.
it might have been, yeah. So it's like there's like about 4 side quests
Yeah,
start, but none of them ever actually happen. Um,
yeah.
so
Um, I mean,
and
I
it was
quite liked
short.
the aspect because it basically showed us what we were seeing throughout what we were going to see throughout the season. Um, yeah, it was short, so it did seem a bit rushed.
Yeah,
But what the hell? Did you see that body glitching? They was stuck here,
I
and it was.
didn't. No, it didn't look like it was glitching to me.
I might have to just clip that and show it to you. But yeah, so so obviously, I feel like I mean, episode one was very much, oh, let's show off Grogu being cute,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that
And
is
let's
what
be
is
honest,
the majority.
you can understand why because let's be honest, that's what sells merchandise.
Yeah,
Grogu being cute, dollar dollar. That's just the way it
I
is.
do have a feeling they're gonna make the at the start of the episode. I feel like that bit shouldn't have been as long as it was with the other Mandalorians. I don't feel like that should have been as long as it was.
Yeah, I mean, it seems a bit strange that there was all that stuff focused at the start, and then it just feels like that
You
was just
see,
pushed aside. It's like, why are you here? I mean, why? That is a good question. If he knows what he's got to do to be redeemed,
why is he
why
there?
did he go there to tell them that's what he's got to do?
Yeah,
It was like it was basically a recap. It was
yeah.
exposition, and that's it was just him going
Because I
around
think
making sure we know what he's got to do.
I think part of it might have been because in case some people who hadn't seen the Book of Boba Fett.
I think you're 100% right. I think that's what it
Yeah.
comes down to. They know that
Because
so much happens in that.
because my mum hadn't seen it and I was watching it with her, so she was confused and I was just there. It's like, well, if you watched the Book of Boba Fett with me, you would know.
But why
Yeah.
would you think that you've got to watch the Book of Boba Fett to know what's happening in the Mandalorian?
I know it is.
You know, unfortunately, it's a bit of a strange decision to make it that people who watch that show religiously won't know what's going on.
Well, it's like we talked about this, how it was random. It was obviously cool to see Mando in Book of Boba Fett, but it was a bit random and it felt a bit forced for him to be there.
Yes.
And because of it, it kind of became Mando season 2.5.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Totally.
But yeah. So I feel like they're definitely going to at some point fix IG-11, or they're going to try and find a way to get around the whole we can't find that part.
Yeah. Are you still there? Your audio went really funny and then you disappeared.
Yeah, sorry. Pad died.
What?
Pad died. The pad died when I spawned in as the Emperor and then I got slaughtered. Anyhow, what was I saying? I feel like they're gonna try and find a way around the whole makeshift, like not being able to find a pad. They're probably gonna makeshift one, or they're gonna find the part.
But I don't know why they need the part now.
Because yeah, actually, that's a good point.
They've already gone and done what they were going to do, which makes that whole side quest completely pointless. Although, are we still talking about episode 1 now?
Still talking about episode 1. Still talking about episode 1.
Okay. So we know, as we'll talk about a bit from stuff that happened in episode 2, that side quest has gone pointless, so that doesn't matter. The one about him going to Mandalore, well, we know what happens with that.
Yeah.
But then the other one where he goes and speaks to her to say what he's going to do, I think that only existed to make it make sense why he calls on her for help.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And obviously we'll talk about why he needs help.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
So
I think overall episode 1 was just a catch up, a bit of exposition. Yeah. But I think it would have been okay. I think what they should have done is released episodes 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah. Because that would have made it a bit more connected and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so which side quest? Okay, so Muppet Features. We're talking about episode 1 of Mando season 3. We just talked about how the IG-11 side quest is pointless after episode 2. There's no reason to bring him back after season 2. So yeah, but episode 1 obviously made the IG-11 plot point, the Mandalore plot point. I feel like there might be something with the pirates later on in the season as like a filler episode, and it's going to be probably an annoying episode because it will be filler, and I don't think there needs to be anything with the pirates. But they set it up as if there's going to be a follow-up for it, so that's probably going to be a plot point at some point, and obviously him going to find Bo-Katan. Well, not going to find her. He does him going to talk to Bo-Katan. So as I said, the pirate one, I feel like that should just be it and done, really.
I don't think it will be, though.
It won't
and
be.
I'll tell you why. Because the new Lego sets have been, or some of the new Lego sets have been revealed, and one of them is the pirate stunt fighter.
Yeah.
And I don't think they'd make it if it was only seen in one episode.
Yeah. And you know it's going to be like a filler episode or something like that. I doubt much plot point will happen, or plot movement will happen there.
Yeah. Basically, one of the pirates will capture Grogu, and it'll be a rescue mission or something.
That'll be it, pretty much.
Yeah.
And if this is when Din's assembled all of the Mandalorians and stuff like that, then the pirates are absolutely screwed.
Oh yeah, I mean they'd be screwed if just that big guy with the miniguns ends up. Quite frankly, I mean he's an absolute beast.
Oh, is it Paz Vizsla? I think it's Paz Vizsla, him.
Yeah, I think so. He's just. I keep
mixing him and Pre Vizsla up because they've got such similar names.
Yeah, the fact they both begin with P doesn't help.
Yeah, and obviously Vizsla, and it's 3 letters for each of the first names.
Yeah.
But yeah, going back to the whole initiation of like the little kid into the new kid into the Mandalorians. That at first I thought that would have been like a flashback or something about Din being initiated or something like that, and it then lead into a transition of you looking at him now, and then it just like I thought until he showed up that was going to be a flashback. I'm just saying, it's like, okay, why was that needed?
Yeah, it doesn't really, because again, when that beast comes out the water, I was like, whoa, was that a mythosaur? No, it's not.
No.
Again, and then it's like,
see you later, Muff Peaches. Good having you on the stream.
See you later, Muppet. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, so what were you saying? That creature coming out of the water.
Yeah, at first I thought, oh, is that a mythosaur? And then I went, oh, no, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
Which irony.
Yeah, but we'll get to that irony in a minute, mate.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, so shall we start talking about episode 2?
I mean, I think so, because there's a lot to talk about from episode 2.
There is. But we'll save the big bit.
Yeah, we'll start at the beginning and work along. First of all, when
it opened up to obviously the workshop lady.
Yeah.
Don't know her name. I thought, dear God, if it's just going to be another complete episode of just upgrading his ship, I'm going to lose it.
Well, we definitely got more than that. I mean, the first nod, or the first Easter egg, is the fact that it referenced the Boonta Eve Classic, or the Boonta Eve, which was first heard of in episode 1, which is because obviously the Boonta Eve Classic is the race that Anakin took part in, alongside the Bulba. So a very important time on Tatooine. It's like their World Cup or something.
Yeah.
So that was a big deal, just the fact that it was taking place then.
Yeah.
But we very quickly got maybe my favourite ever debut or return of a character in the droid. No, the droid that he get when the Mandalorian turns up. That is R5. That is the droid from A New Hope.
Yeah, the one that short circuits itself.
Yeah, short circuits, and you find out more about this from the novel Star Wars A New Hope from a certain point of view. Basically, that droid is the one that Uncle Owen initially goes to buy, but then its motivator blows, so they get R2-D2 instead. And in the novel, you find out that droid actually works for the rebellion, and it deliberately blows its motivator and sacrifices its freedom so that Luke can get to that they can get help from Obi-Wan Kenobi to take out the Death Star. And the fact that we now find out what happens to R5, not only did he end up with a nice home, now he's hanging out with Grogu and the Mandalorian. I mean, that is absolutely awesome.
That's a step up. That's a Speaking of droids and going back to RTDs, I did see an interesting thing, and it was like the kill counts of Chopper from Rebels and compared to R2D2s, and I don't know if these are over exaggerated at all, but Chopper's kill count is 50,000.
He's probably blown up a ship or two at some point.
Yeah.
That had X amount of people on,
And
so
then,
it could well be the case.
Yeah. And then R2D2's is 1 million.
Huh.
Yeah. And I'm assuming that's counting droids, even though that's not really killing them. But
maybe it's because he assisted Luke in blowing up the Death Star.
So that's the only logical thing I could come to think of. So I was just saying, it's like, how? But yeah, anyway, back to Mandalorian. So, we got to see R5. I did like how she was like, oh yeah, just be careful because it's circuit. And he's just like, you said he was... like, you said he was okay for adventure and stuff like that. And just like, nope, he's not at all. I lied.
Yeah, she's like, sorry, I can't hear you. What was that?
And I did quite like that. Just like, yeah, they still seem to be friends, but she's still scamming him a bit.
Yeah. And she's an absolute scumbag. I mean, the fact that she she got the Jawas to steal a piece of that guy's pod racer.
Oh yeah, and then
she just brings it, fixes it back, and she's making out like she's gonna have to get pieces in from the mid-rim and stuff like that.
To get more money.
I
would say it's like, well, to be fair, you need the money.
Yeah. Gotta make that sweet Tatooine dollar.
Gotta make those street credits.
Well, Republic credits are no good out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, back to Mando in the episode. He travels to Mandalore, and the reason its ideal IG-11 plot becomes somewhat irrelevant at this point is because, well, at first they asked the woman on Tatooine, just like, have you got this part? And they're just like, nope. Whether that was them just like half-assing it and just like not even looking is one thing, but, you know. So that's why she gives him R5 to take to Mandalore.
Yeah, because he specifically says he needs a droid that can spell and so basically dive underwater.
Yeah.
And then she just goes, no, you don't. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he doesn't. And he doesn't need it. It just and it just makes that entire bit in episode 1.
Why is Yoda here? Anyhow, had nothing to do with the episode. That was me just freaking out about Yoda being.
Yeah, I mean, he just massacred us both.
But yeah, so then R4 does the scouting, which is what he was originally going to get IG-11 to do. So yeah.
So it's probably worth mentioning. Basically, they go to Mandalore. That's where they're doing it. They're on Mandalore.
Oh yeah, they're scouting on Mandalore because they've heard that Mandalore's poisoned and stuff like that. Well, not heard. They think Mandalore's poisoned.
We will.
So yeah, and we're talking. This is the first time. I mean,
how we've won twice in a row.
It's co-op, and with the Empire. So they then introduce the creatures that live in the wastelands of Mandalore. Can't remember what they're called, but they're weird spider-looking caveman things.
Well, they look like, yeah.
If you've seen, you're probably gonna get this. If you've seen the old Spider-Man cartoon, when he turns into that monster spider, like man spider, I think people call it. Then that is exactly what it is. So they're then from where they are, there's obviously some bits in between with like Grogu force pushing the thing away. And I thought that was interesting point, cause before Dave Filoni mentioned anything, we all thought, oh, Grogu was only with Luke for like a week or two. Nope, he was with him for 1 to 2 years. They didn't specify if it was 1 to 2 years, if it was 1 or 2 years. It was 1 to 2 years.
I thought I heard him say in the 2 years.
It might have been 2 years.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, something. It was 1 to 2, and obviously says that. Okay. So obviously Grogu spent more time than everybody thought, so he's obviously a bit more powerful than he was
Yeah,
before.
we see a few times he does like force leaps.
Yeah,
force
you see that
pushes,
in this episode.
Strong.
Yeah. So after they've fought off these man spider things, I'm gonna call them that from now until I remember the name, which is probably not gonna happen until I rewatch Mando again. But they then go into the sea, which is somewhat under the like on the ground, pretty much, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's underground.
To get to the mines, to get to the waters, which he needs to bathe in to redeem himself, which is why he's going to Mandalore in the first place. So he does this. Well, not yet, but he goes into the city with Grogu, and he finds buried in the sand a Mandalorian helmet, which I thought, oh, that's interesting. I have a feeling it might have been a Death Watch helmet.
It was pretty generic, to be honest. I think it was just a very generic helmet.
Yeah, again, probably just generic, but I have a feeling it was like, it had the grey to it, and it did look like the how the Death Watch helmets did. And I know they look like just generic ones, just painted blue and stuff like that, but they did look very much like how they did in Clone Wars for the Death Watch. So I'm assuming it's a Death Watch one, and that's mainly because I want to believe it's a Death Watch one.
You want it to be, you just want to go, ooh, Death Watch.
Because I did love Death Watch. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Death Watch, because they then turn to the Shadow Collective ones, don't they, with the mole skins and stuff like that. And then the horns. Anyhow. Going off track there. But so then Din gets captured by what at first I thought it was an old crab droid. From
but it wasn't.
But then it wasn't. I was just there. It's like, oh, and it's like this weird, like spidery. There's a lot of spider. Something to do with spiders.
It's a cyborg. So there's definitely, you can see this eye of like a living thing.
But then there's nothing else.
But everything else looks mechanical. But you can tell it's a cyborg as well, because when it captures him, it's trying to siphon out his blood and bone marrow, which is obviously what it needs to survive. So it's after genetic material. It's very bizarre. It's very good though, because it's really quite creepy. It looks like a sort of a mini General Grievous.
Yeah, I was thinking that, just like, this is very General Grievous like. But I thought, okay. So I don't know what the whole crab droid thing was, but I feel like that might have just been like its car or something.
It's sort of like exo armor. It's like like it's sort of, that's like its final form, or something like that.
This isn't even my final form. But are you the blooming AT-ST?
Oh yes.
I had a feeling you were. I had a feeling you were when I saw Max and number in play. Just like, oh god. Go on, where are you? Because I can't see you at all. Anyhow. So, Din gets captured, the thing's trying to siphon bone marrow and stuff like that. So, Grogu actually goes to the ship and goes to get Bo-Katan. Now, an interesting line she says, which made me feel like, oh, she's being antagonistic. Is that it?
Antagonistic, yeah.
Yeah. She says, "Let's get rid of him once and for all." So I thought, because obviously everyone's thinking she's gonna want to fight him to get the dark saber so she can rule Mandalore. But now obviously we'll talk about this a bit more in a bit when we get to it. It seems like she actually doesn't want it. She just wants to help him. But then again, that could be
I think
just
she wants Mandalore to have a strong leader.
And obviously,
and
because she messed up,
is.
she doesn't feel like it's her.
No.
So she comes along. She saves Din. Interesting thing, she does use the dark saber, and I thought that was cool because we've never actually seen her use it.
Well, and she uses it well. Like the way he's swinging it around like it's an axe and it's too heavy for him. She looks like full on, like Jedi level using
Well, it's like the user of the darksaber has to be like open with it or something, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see. Well, they have to have like a clear goal, or they have to have a clear goal in mind. And Din obviously couldn't because he was fractured between two things. Obviously, wanting to see Grogu and the other one.
Whatever the hell the other one was.
Yeah, I can't remember what the other one was. They talk about it in Book of Boba Fett, but I see the remains of the ATSD. But yeah, so Bo-Katan comes along, saves him, uses it, drags him out of where they were. Why is this not electric? Hold on, let me kill this guy. And then, okay. Drags him out of where they were. She
tries to get him out, but he refuses to go because he has to go down and bathe in the waters and stuff. So she agrees to take him to where he needs to go.
And then, probably the coolest thing in the episode. So as Din is going into the water to obviously redeem himself for his
transgressions. In other words, his sins.
Yeah. I was gonna say sin, but I was just saying like that's a bit too extreme.
Well, it is. It's like what is considered unacceptable, what he's done that is considered wrong. Yeah.
So he steps into it, takes a few steps. I was thinking, oh, it's just gonna be a shallow pool. All of a sudden, something grabs him and drags him under. And all I'm going to say is, I think it's thalassophobia, and that's fear of like deep water. So when they would this whole scene, I was just there, it's like, I don't like it. It's like if I get jump scared, I'm gonna hit something. But so Bo-Katan immediately dives in to save him. But they've gone down pretty far. Like
deep, hella deep.
I'm just there. It's like, can they breathe under their helmets? What's going on?
Well, at the start of the episode, they talk about being able to pressurize the helmets.
Yeah, I did remember that when I was freaking out, but just like, can they breathe? But yeah, so as Bo is carrying Din out, they go past something, and the first thing you see is the horn, and then you see its eye, and then it pans out, and you can see it swimming away, and the creature that is swimming away is a mythosaur.
Yeah, and it does explain, for anyone who didn't already know about them, it does explain in this episode that mythosaur is the animal that you see on the Mandalorian crest with like the big horn tusk things.
It's what
and the idea
has
is that
on his shoulder.
Yeah, it's that's their logo, the Mandalorian logo. And the idea is that was it Mandalore the Ultimate or Mandalore the Great?
I think it was Mandalore the Great.
Yeah, he basically tamed the mighty mythosaur
Yeah.
and and I think he killed one and then he tamed them and they used to ride them into battle.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people they literally called it the mythosaur because it was strongly suspected that a lot of people didn't exist. They were real, believed they were real.
Believe they exist.
Yeah, believed
Didn't
they existed.
exist, they were real.
Didn't exist, they were real. But yeah,
right.
this is the first time
Yeah.
we've
And
ever seen a mythosaur
I
in
was
canon.
there, all excited, just like, oh my god, it's a mythosaur. This is the first time it's ever happened. And Mom's just like, it's a what?
Oh look, big dinosaur go boom boom.
Big creature. And I think they mentioned something about a prophecy of.
Yeah,
going on.
so it was mentioned in one of the earlier seasons
That
that
a
there's
new leader
basically
will rule and the mythosaur.
yeah, if the return of the mythosaur would signal herald a new rise for
Yeah.
Mandalore or something.
Now, it's interesting because that one confirms that Din is going to be, or possibly Din could be the new leader. Well, is going to be the new leader at least for a while, if Bo-Katan isn't at any point. That Din is going to be the leader of Mandalore for a while, and probably one of the strongest because it's the return of the Mythosaur, and it basically signifies the great leader's return and stuff like that. Now, what's interesting after that, it ends with Bo-Katan obviously getting Din out of the water and her looking back into the what do they call it? They call it something. The something lake.
Oh, I can't remember.
I can't remember.
No.
But they it's interesting because the way I'm seeing it at the minute is because obviously we've seen Bo-Katan use that lightsaber on a Jedi level. So obviously I have a feeling she's gonna train Din a lot better than the Armorer and Vizsla were training him to use it.
Oh yeah,
because she's actually wielded it. That probably wasn't great English, but you know.
she's used it.
She's used it. She has more experience with it than them because they haven't.
Wielded it.
But yeah. So I have a feeling she's going to be the one to train him how to use it. And I also have a suspicion that because they are the representative, like somewhat key members of their respective communities, so obviously Bo-Katan and the ones that take off the helmets, and Mando and the ones that don't. Now, they say that the cult, which is what Mando's community is, separated the people of Mandalore. So what could be interesting to see is them reuniting the factions, and maybe one of them just saying, look, these rules don't matter. There's going to be a new set of rules, and you can either take off your helmet if you want to. If you don't, then that's
Yeah,
fine.
it's almost like being two different tribes, but they're the same people.
Yeah. So I feel like they're gonna reunite and stuff like that, and then they're gonna start bringing everyone back to Mandalore, seeing as it isn't toxic anymore, so they can start rebuilding it and stuff like that. And I feel like that might be where the majority of the season is going to take place, on Mandalore. and them bringing the others back to it, sorting out the community and somewhat. And I do feel like there will obviously be that filler with the pirates at some point.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the finale or something like that, there might be someone in either of the communities is gonna try and take the Darksaber. And
well, I think it'll be that Vizsla guy.
yes. So
because it was sort of hinted in.
Bo-Katan wants a strong leader. That's what we said.
Yeah.
Now, she could turn around and say that's her, but that's what we're all expecting. So it wouldn't be that much of a shock. Obviously, the Vizsla wouldn't be much of a shock either, but it could possibly be him because Vizsla was a Jedi. The original Vizsla was a Jedi. The one who made the Darksaber.
Yes.
Was I came first. Was a Jedi. Made the Darksaber. The Darksaber's the only thing that can cut through Beskar, ain't it? I feel like
I think it's implied that normal lightsabers can, but they don't automatically. So it's like basically Beskar is an armor that can even be resistant to lightsabers.
Yeah.
I think if you kept hacking away with a lightsaber, it's going to cut through it eventually.
Eventually, yeah.
But yeah,
wait, no, because the Darksaber then blocks it with the spear.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, never mind.
I don't think it's any difference. I think it's basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I feel like Vizsla's gonna take it, or try to. That's where there's gonna be a thing. But there's in the trailers they mention something like something's coming, like something bad. So, don't know what that is. If they turn around and say that's the pirates, I'm gonna just turn around and laugh.
Yeah.
Because
that would be something bad.
It could be crazy idea. Could be fun.
I mean,
or does
logical. I think that's the most logical idea. If I'm thinking my fantasy head on, I want to see a dark side Mace Windu terrorizing the galaxy.
I remember you telling me this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I think there's a lot of scope. He wouldn't even need to be as powerful as he once was. It could just be he doesn't have his memory. Just but
then I remember you saying that Grogu's gonna be the one to bring him back because they could say Mace was the one who saved Grogu. But then again, that wouldn't make sense because he wasn't at the Jedi Temple. But he could, if he survived
but he could have been.
If he survived the fall, he could have moved to. He could have easily ran to the Jedi Temple to just be like.
I think that starts to feel like a stretch, though.
Yeah.
Overall, though, I would say the second episode of The Mandalorian was a very good episode of Star Wars. It certainly redeemed. I wouldn't say the first episode was bad. It was just kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And this made up for it. There was so much that happened in this episode that I was just like, yes, get in. Very happy. Loved seeing the Mandalorian ship that she came in.
Yeah, I did like seeing that in Clone Wars. I was just saying, it's a Mandalorian ship, it's a proper one. Yay.
Yeah.
And it's I feel like there could be somewhat of a co-rulership with Bo-Katan and Din.
See, I honestly just don't think Din should or would be anywhere involved in leading. He's not. He doesn't want it, and it would. If he became a politician, a leader, it would take away from what he actually really wants. He just wants to be a Mandalorian and to be effectively to be a dad Grogu.
Another thing, while Grogu and Bo-Katan are um, going to obviously to save Din,
Mandalore.
Mando. Um, she's talking to Grogu. One, she calls Mando. She calls Mando Grogu's dad, and I thought that was adorable.
Yeah.
I was just saying, oh, that's cute. That's so cute.
But I
and
think
then
that's the story now, isn't it? He's effectively adopted him as his
yeah. Let me see if I can try and get
foundling.
like the Mythosaur signet on Boba Fett's because I'm playing as Boba Fett, but I can't get it. It's on the other shoulder. Anyhow, but yeah, I thought that was adorable, and she also mentions the that Jedi used to help the man.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, they talk about how
she mentions I knew a few Jedi, obviously referring to Obi-Wan and Ahsoka. But she also mentions how long ago the Jedi even helped the Mandalorians fight wars.
Yeah.
Now, could have easily just been a wars, how Ahsoka helped them get rid of Maul. What I think it could have been referencing the Mandalorian Civil War in the Old Republic, or before the Old Republic, that Revan helped fighting.
I mean, it's technically possible. However, they've never made any reference to apart from seeing Bane, they've not really made anything from the Old Republic canon.
I know, but this could be its way of bringing it in.
It's possible. It's possible.
They could have, like, in Bo-Katan's castle, she could easily have like a relic room or something like that, and it could just pan past Revan's mask or something like that.
Well, Revan's mask was a Mandalorian helmet.
Exactly.
So it would certainly make sense, and that's aspect.
Yeah. So like, as soon as I heard Jedi used to help Mandalorians in wars, I was just there. It's like, excuse me, because obviously Clone Wars, but my mind immediately went to Old Republic, and I'm just saying. Like,
yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. I think it was referencing the Clone Wars,
but why say many years ago? I mean, actually, to be fair, it was many years ago.
It was many years ago. Yeah. You're talking whole generations ago, aren't you?
It took me, just like the Return of the Jedi, so. Originally called Revenge of the Jedi, which was interesting.
It was. That's why Revenge of the Sith was called that, because it was a nod to the fact that that's what although it was originally called Blue Harvest.
Why Blue Harvest?
Because they pretended it was when they were filming these, especially in the forest, the Ewoks. Basically, because it's a public forest, anyone could turn up, so they couldn't keep people upset.
Right.
So instead of calling Return of the Jedi, they called it Blue Harvest with the tagline "Terror Beyond Imagination." So everyone thought it was some crappy little B-movie horror film.
Is that where they got the idea for Ewok on?
Maybe. That is why they got the idea for the Family Guy episode, Family Guy Blue Harvest. And then there was actually a book, which was like a sequel to Death Troopers, where there's basically this flower that makes people into zombies through the dark side of the Force. And that book was called Red Harvest.
That seems like a stretch.
Well, it might be, but the Death Troopers book was damn good. I would put it
What's
up
the thing that
there.
starts the Death Trooper book? Like the
What's the what?
zombie. What's the thing that starts a zombie virus in the Death Trooper?
It's that same
The
plant.
flower, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That to me seems.
But it's this plant is particularly strong with the dark side of the Force.
Right.
Same as you've seen lots of other animals in particular, plants
Yeah.
and stuff are, so.
See, animals and obviously humans and stuff like that make sense to me, but a plant. Oh my god, does that mean Felucia's one with the dark side? Because that thing tries to kill us every single time.
Well, if you think like the gnarl tree, you know the tree that Luke goes into?
Yeah, actually.
That's strong with the dark side of the Force.
Yeah. Huh. There was, I think it was like a South Park episode where they somewhat had a tree like that. I can't say the name of the teacher, but do you know the teacher that teaches them in 4th grade before Mr. Garrison comes back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The one with the really hilarious name, which I repeat every single time.
Except this time.
Except this time, because I would rather not. But yeah, they reference that tree. I think it's like Mr. Garrison's training her to like teach the kids or deal with or just like how to handle the kids, just how he handles them anyway.
Yeah, which isn't the best way anyway.
Yeah. All in all, Mr. Garrison probably shouldn't have a teacher's degree.
No.
But he does,
There are no
so...
stupid questions, only stupid people.
Now go back to someone who's not completely... finished this. I always love coming to the little chamber room and you get to see the Death Star shoot. I do love that.
Where are we retreating to? Oh, over here.
Okay. I think we're on the final stage now, aren't we?
Yeah.
I've only just noticed the Star Destroyer outside. Because is that Vader's Star Destroyer?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
The Executor, isn't
That's it.
Yeah.
I've only just noticed that, and to be fair, I've never actually looked out this window.
So it's basically it's a Super Star Destroyer.
Super Star Destroyer. What it's called.
The normal ones are Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Star Destroyer.
I've got a Yoda. Please help me.
I've got a Chewie. I'm not helping anyone.
I've got a midget on me. Never mind.
Oh, that was getting killed.
Going down South Park, gonna hit my every time.
Yeah, man. There we go. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't want to be copyrighted, please no.
So, what are we expecting going forward? We'll say with a Bad Batch first, because if this is episode 12, was there 18 or 16?
16. It said 16,
16.
but then again, there was originally 13 in, I think, 15 in the first season Rebels, and then that went up to 22. So it could.
So we're quite close to the end.
If it's going with the original series number, or if it's up in it. But yeah. So yeah, with Bad Batch. So I feel like because the Doctor, this character that they've introduced, we completely forgot to mention him.
Oh yeah.
Who seems like he's going to be the main villain of the season. He asks about obviously, how do I get? He asked the Prime Minister of Camino, how do I get this? The one who is the one who
Oh
specializes in cloning.
yeah, they say
How do I basically get her under control? How do I get her to do things? Just like
get it to
there was,
comply.
how do I get her to comply? And the Prime Minister goes, she was always fond of this one clone, a little girl. So obviously referring to Omega. And it's interesting to see because they obviously, because Crosshair goes AWOL, so you think, oh, they're going to execute him. But he then wakes up on the table with one of the Doctor's assistants, and he asks, where am I, what's going on? And the Doctor's assistant, I'm assuming, I'm just going to call her that because we don't know her name. She says, we're
Think
healing.
that if you comply, you might survive this.
If you comply to the Doctor's orders, you might survive this. So, this could very well lead to Crosshairs being the one to bring Omega to the Doctor, which I think that would be interesting. Because that could be the reunion with the Bad Batch for his character. And then obviously it becomes a rescue mission that could take over two episodes, maybe 2 parts. But yeah, so I feel like that's where that could be going. Could possibly go another way, where Crosshairs obviously is sent to take her, but instead of actually capturing her, unless they obviously give him an inhibitor chip, like, unless they give him like a Suicide Squad bomb in the neck, I don't think he's going to actually, because he seems to be disobeying orders now.
Well, he's disobeyed that order. Mainly, he didn't really even disobey an order. He just killed that guy.
Actually, yeah, that's true.
So he could go either way.
He could go either way, where like base orders captures Omega, brings Bad Batch there. Because there is a group in the comics that are a group of stormtroopers in the comics that are very similar to the Bad Batch, and I think the Vader's personal like squadron or something like that. They could easily be. So what would be interesting to see is like if they bring all of Bad Batch in, they capture him, and they take their like a sample of the genetics of what makes him special, and they give them to obviously the new stormtroopers and stuff like that, and then that's how Vader's personal like squadron happens. Because it would be weird if they suddenly flipped it to like, oh, the Bad Batch turn evil. And I doubt they're going to clone the Bad Batch because they're stopping clones and stuff like that. But they are currently at a cloning facility, so it could go either way. They copy the genetics and give it to the new stormtroopers, or they just clone the Bad Batch with inhibitor chips or something like that.
There's also a very heavy rumor that Tech is going to die in this season.
Yeah.
Because we've seen I've much of it focus on him and Omega getting close, and him getting more of a character development. And normally, if we suddenly start learning more about a character we haven't so far, it's because
it means they're gonna die.
Yeah, it means they want to make us care about them so they can kill them off.
Yeah. But yeah, so I feel like that's where it's gonna go. It's gonna go with they're gonna save Omega. There might be, in the case that Tech dies, something goes wrong. He gets killed in a mission at end of season, something like that. So that's where I think that's gonna go. It's gonna end up for a rescue mission with Omega.
Yeah.
Which, that's what happened in the first season, if I'm not mistaken. That's somewhat exactly what
Yeah.
happened in the first season. Just a different way.
I mean, there's been a lot of stuff tied into the idea that they can't trust Sid. That
Yeah, so it could go into something like that.
because there'd be nothing. There could be a thing of Sid betraying them.
Yeah, and I am finding it interesting since the episode where they were basically stranded on that planet and they got out of it. There hasn't been any mention of Sid.
No, there was the bit where she refused that he didn't actually come to help them, and she offers them a sort of a job to make up for it, and that's it.
Yeah,
She hasn't been really seen apart from that. Because
yeah.
the job they go on in the last
Oh, is
episode,
Zillow?
she
Yeah,
sends them.
that's completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was her doing that. So yeah, it's gonna definitely be interesting to see where that goes because there's so many ways that it could go. Um, where do you think it's gonna go? Do you think it's gonna roughly be the same as what I've been saying, or
I
something
think I
entirely
think
different?
a lot of what you're saying will happen.
Yeah,
Obviously, I think what might happen is that you don't. Someone takes her. He turns up, and it's heavily implied that he's the one that took her. Um, but I think it might turn out that it was Sid.
yeah. Hello,
But
Queen Bee. Good afternoon. What time are we on? It's almost
what time are we on? Is it? Well, it's
half past
25
10.
to 11 here.
Not 20. Wait. Yeah, I can't do math. Never mind. I'll shut up. But yeah, so that could be an interesting one. That's where it goes. Um, so where do you think Mando's gonna go?
I think it's. I mean, I think at the moment it's too early to even really know
Yeah,
what the aim is.
because
I
there's
think
only
there's.
2 episodes out, and there's been so much plot introduced to us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I feel like, as what I was saying before, we're all doing. Me and Saber are doing all right. B, we're doing pretty good. We're
Just
just
discussing Mandalorian and
the Bad Batch.
the Bad Batch episodes.
But yeah, so having a good time all in all. Um, but yeah, so well with Mando it was like first season it was Moff Gideon, so it was easy to tell like what was it leading up to, it was leading up to. The second season Moff Gideon ends up kidnapping Grogu, so they then gotta go save Grogu from Moff Gideon. But Moff Gideon's been captured, um, so we obviously know he's not gonna come into it. But they are in the trailer. It does mention something dark is coming, or I think it was either something big is coming or something dark's coming. So it could be the start of the First Order. It could be the start of anything really, but most likely First Order.
Just so you know, I've been removed for the group for some reason.
Oh wait, what?
Yeah.
Um, okay, we'll fix that. We'll fix that. I'll quit. So you're still in the group. You've just
As
not
in,
been
I'm not.
in the game.
Yeah, yeah, I'm still
Huh.
in the group and just not in the game. It said you've been removed from this game for.
Right, okay. Um, we'll do it here with villains.
That is fair. I'll probably have to get off in a little bit anyway.
Yeah, I
So I
was about
need
to say
to.
we'll do one match of Hero v Villains and then we'll go.
Yeah, fair enough.
Um,
I'm okay with that.
yeah. Yeah, I said that on a Destiny stream, and Queen Bee was watching, and I was just like, oh yeah, I think it was on my rounding off season of the what's it called? The last season we've just had in Destiny, season of
The pickles.
the what?
Season of the pickles.
No, season of something, season 19.
Season of the Lost. Season of the Fallen. Season of
No,
the
no, don't name all the seasons. It'll come to me.
Winter, Spring,
No,
Autumn.
God damn you!
Season of Love.
No.
A
Anyway,
well-seasoned steak.
are you joining? Is it saying that you're joining this?
It says the Gaming Lord Force started a search for heroes who
Okay.
villains.
Yeah, no, we've no issue, Queen Bee. How you doing? Wait. That's, can you hear
What?
us?
What?
I'm talking to Queen Bee, just making sure she can
Oh,
hear
okay.
us. I'll put something in the comments, just in case. Gonna have to get onto chat. Oh no, we're going to Felucian. Oh, anything but Felucian, please.
The audio is definitely working. I can. I've just put my sounds on my phone, and I can. So I can hear us talking.
Yeah, but it might just be a problem with.
With our audio, you mean?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Had a good rest. Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. What was the same? Oh yeah, it was season of whatever it was, season 19. I was just there. It's like we'll do this one thing, and we'll end it there because I got the Titan of Reaper. I got to level 100 and stuff like that. Season of the Seraph. That's it. Season of the Seraph.
Are you sure it wasn't the Season of Love?
Shut up. That's February. Oh dear God, I hate you. Okay. Yeah, just worried about if you couldn't hear us then for a second, Queen, because I did ask if you were okay. So it wasn't us ignoring you. In case
Also,
you
I can't actually see the chat because we're streaming
yeah,
on.
Saber can't
Lord,
see the
so.
chat because he's not one on the stream, and two, he can't see it because it's my screen and not his. Anyhow,
I sort of want to focus on actually winning this game, so I'm
yeah.
not going to bother trying to level up. I'm just going to pick me better characters.
I gave Chewbacca the high ground. I feel like I messed up royally. And never mind, he left the high ground.
But ironic, I normally take the high ground.
Are you playing? I was about to say, are you playing Obi-Wan, but we're on the dark side? Are you playing Obi-Wan? We're on the dark side. Oh, you can't be playing Obi-Wan. Get out of here, Luke. I'm running to you guys. Maybe. Aha! I got him! I got Anakin. He thought he got away, but he hadn't. Ha ha ha. Sneaky, sneaky.
Low, 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 low. Then so low.
Oh, you Kylo.
Yes.
I'm being thrown around in every way, shape, and form.
I believe you're. Yeah, I'll try and support you in taking out Anakin here. Damn it. But all sorts of went.
God damn it! I got Luke sneaking up behind me.
That
So
all sorts of went to hell.
yeah, it's just like I'll back you up. We'll take them together. We've got Ray. Oh god, I've been mind tricked. I'll try sprinting. That's a good trick. Whee! Hey, bud, I'm bringing the enemies to you. Oh, never mind. They didn't follow me.
You're bringing nothing.
I'm bringing the A game. There's nothing here. Well, I brought something, and it's... I don't know. I'm on 10 HP, and I don't want to die. But the plants will surely kill me. I might just sneak.
Got a Ray here and an Anakin. All kinds of Skywalkers.
You take that back.
Never.
I accidentally opened the thing. That's not good. I might go Boba so we've got a gun character.
Sent a load of them flying there, but...
Yeah. Just tune out. Argument a couple. I somehow managed to tune out the argumented couple, but now I am awake. I yelled on my window and said, "Shut up! Nobody wants to hear." Oh, yeah. So last time Queen Bee was on on my Lightfall stream, she was telling me about how there was weirdos in the laundromat, and now telling me that there was a not disruptive, argumentative couple um, that she had to that she opened the window and told them to shut up because nobody wants to hear, and then peacefully turned on her radio.
It's always the best approach.
Yeah. Scream and then you hide.
Yeah. Resort to peace after the other option didn't particularly work.
What the hell was going on? Oh my god. I'll say we'll do one more. After. You alright doing one more after this? Or have you
Go on, I
got
can do one more.
try to get a win on this? If not, it's not that much of a problem. Okay, well, so we got Chewie. Luke got you, so that's not good. I don't know. Well, I killed Ray and then I got the rest of them on me, so I don't know what's going on with this.
Oh, let's go a little bit of Boba Fett.
I could use some assistance here, please. Never mind, they killed me. Yeah.
Oh, and me.
So you had to
Yeah.
deal with an argument with a couple, Queen Bee. How did that go, apart from telling him to shut up? What the hell? Where does Anakin keep coming from with the Force pull?
Ah.
Oh my god.
We've got 2 lives left, and it's not looking.
Even more weird when he was watching that, what everyone was putting into the drugs. Yeah. So now she's telling me about the Queen Bee saying about the guy at the laundromat. Eventually got even weirder when he was watching what people were putting into the dryers, and was relieved when they finally left.
I mean, I'm sure some people put some very exciting things in the dryers.
I mean, it's weird because we don't have laundromats, do we, in Britain?
Well, we do, but they're very, very rare. It's not very.
Yeah.
I think there's one near me nan's, but most people over here, yeah.
Okay, I'd like to know where the hell the guy who was playing Emperor and Aiden were, because they were nowhere.
No, I saw no one. Are we quitting this group?
Yeah, we're quitting and then we're joining another one and then we'll see if we win or not. But either way, it'll be the end of the stream.
Yes.
Yeah. Fun story times with Queen Bee. We should call these segments. I expect a new story of arguing with couples or weirdos every time you show up on stream now, Queen Bee. If not, I'm gonna be a little worried. I'm not gonna be disappointed because obviously if you've not got one to tell me, then that's fine. But I will be worried because that's what normally happens. I think I'm weird like that. If something goes off, like schedule, apart from homework, I freak out a bit. I'm just like, it's not going right. This is not how it should go.
This was not the plan.
Yeah. And you know my family, mate. The plans always alter in some way, and
Yeah. Pray I
several of
don't
us,
alter it any further.
several of us are fine with it, and then you've just got me and my grandma just like, you what? You can't do this.
But we had a plan.
We had a plan. We stuck to the plan. Oh, that just reminded me of what was his name? Snad, from Legends. There are 3 steps to making a plan. Number 1, make the plan. 2, execute the plan. 3, expect the plan to go horribly wrong. I think it was actually 4. And then 4, throw away the plan. That was when the Flash was good, when Snart wasn't it? Oh,
Yeah, the Flash went downhill.
Yeah. Have you seen what they've done? Wait, no, I'm not going to say anything because you'll not have seen anything yet, and I know you'll probably watch it. But I won't give names. Can I say things without giving names?
I have no idea what it is you're even talking about, so it makes it very hard for me to know.
Okay. They basically introduced the character from the comics, but absolutely butchered it. That's all I'll say. No more. The weirdo main concern to its friend on the cell phone was that there wasn't any. Oh, I remember this. Yeah. So to give you more context to the weirdo at the laundromat saber, they were on the phone to their friend, and they were complaining about how there was no one pretty to talk to.
Okay.
It's weird.
That's deeply frustrating, I'm sure.
Yeah. this is. I'm just saying, it's like, oh, well, this is no idea how one would take that or deal with that situation. But we had a laugh about it on the Lightfall stream, didn't we, Queen Bee? I never know what to call Queen Bee for short. Like B.
I'm sure. Yeah. B, Queen Bee, yeah.
Yeah.
QB?
QB could be cool.
QB.
QB.
Okay.
Sounds like Kirby. I should probably be starting another hero review.
I was wondering if this was ever going to happen. Actually.
I was thinking just like it's searching for a long time now, and then I realised no, I've not even pressed search. Yeah, QB said that the right as a nickname. I just want to check that. Is QB alright as a nickname for you, Queen Bee? Is that okay for a nickname? Most people who comment on my thing, I give nicknames to. Is QB alright for you, or do you just want to be called B? But yeah. Anyway, she was saying that don't forget to mention that he looks like a garden gnome. And that's
Could be
what
an attractive garden gnome.
That's what we were laughing about on the Lightfall stream. I think it was mainly because like, I was at a serious point, just like trying to listen to the story, and then all of a sudden I see, yeah, so there's this weirdo in the laundromat that's got that looks like. I'm just there, it's like, what? This has my full attention now. Forget the game. I want to hear about the weirdo that looks like a garden gnome.
I mean, at some point in our lives, we're all the weirdo who looks like a garden gnome. By the way, there's someone on the other team called Tiny Bully Maguire.
Oh my god, I love it!
Yeah.
Well, I don't love his house. Oh, never mind.
I don't love his level.
Yeah, I was about to say, what I love about it is that they're all look zero, and then, well, no, I was about to say, what I don't like is that they're all zero, and then all of a sudden I see
Two
gold.
of them are in the 600s, two of them in the 300s.
See, I can't see that too
You're
well because...
our highest.
Oh, we are royally...
Yeah. We're going to invent whole new ways to be screwed.
We're gonna make a I'm gonna make a Oh, great! So it begins. I'm gonna create a whole montage with the song that goes of just all the times we've been killed in this match.
Whoa.
I'm actually gonna do that now. Did I tell you I did a stream by this by myself? I did a stream of this by myself. Do you remember me telling you?
I don't think so. Oh, I just got a kill though. I killed Tiny Bully Maguire. Screw you, Tiny Bully Maguire. I took the high ground, and then I died.
And then I died trying to help you. Royal Python 11. That's who is playing as Darth Vader. Oh, I'm gonna just go back into the hidey hole.
I don't care. Do you know what? Simply the fact that I killed Tiny Bully Maguire is enough.
Your
for
confidence has risen.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, this is going absolutely god awful. Screw it. I'm going to my failsafe character.
I mean, I was fighting four of them literally on my own.
Rolling. Never mind.
There was categorically nobody there fighting with me.
That's because we were probably all dead. So, apologies. Yeah, so we're just gonna have fun with this last game because we have clearly lost. We are not getting 11. Don't even start. But there's only 11
Oh
in
no,
it.
that's not what I mean. I was more questioning the fun part.
And by fun, I mean we're gonna mess around and die a lot. If we get kills, we get kills, but I doubt it very, very much. Why did I spawn right here?
Yeah, I force-brained them, so have at them. Oh.
Pro dump take is one of the other ones. Oh dear God. At least it's not worse than Kylo. What was it? Kylo and Rey Forever, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
One of the first Battlefront streams we ever did. There was someone in the game we were playing against called Kylo and Ren Forever, and they for starters didn't even play as either Kylo or Ren or Rey.
Dude,
I mean,
Kylo or Ren.
shut it. But yeah.
Jump up. Knock them all out. Send him flying. Get jump from behind.
Yeah, that's perfectly understandable. She's saying about how she doesn't want to run to any more weirdos. That's perfectly understandable, really.
Yeah, you probably came to the wrong stream for that then.
He does have a point, to be fair, but we're the tolerable,
tolerable weirdos.
Tolerable weirdos. The ones
Tolerable rodos? What's a rodo?
I said weirdos. You need to get your old man ears checked, mate.
My man ears?
Your old man ears. Oh wait, I see.
As long as you're making it ageist, not sexist, that's fine.
Yeah. How is this guy who's playing Boba Fett always finding me when I spawn? I can't see a... Dude, this is ridiculous. Alright, let's play Finn, the character who was completely wasted in the films. We've talked about this several occasions. Finn was wasted.
Yeah. Yeah, this we should have actually let the other one be our last game.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'll help you. Never mind. I should design my own t-shirt with specific sayings to it.
And just like that, I'm down.
What a great way to end the stream.
Yeah, it's ironic considering how many games we won before when we weren't paying attention.
We're not talking about it. Anyhow, in our minds, the stream ended before.
Yeah, about 30 minutes ago.
Okay, if the first is Pro Dump Taker, dear God. Anyway, so that's it for the stream today. We had a good talk about the past two episodes of Mando and Bad Batch. It was a fun time. Thanks for joining me, Saber. Thank you for those of you who showed up in the chat. Queen Bee, Muppet Features, and I think I saw Tony Joe for a split second.
Yeah.
Cancel. Anyhow, so thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like, consider subscribing if you haven't already. Go subscribe to Saber. As I've always mentioned, doing these intros. He does retro reviews. He does streams on, is it 20k?
2K, well, 2K22, and I will
2k.
do 2K23.
Okay. Um, those, the wrestling ones, the my
Yeah,
GM
there you
modes.
go.
My GM. You doing season 2 at the minute, or have you finished season 2?
Well, it's more like about season 3 or 4, to be honest.
Fair enough.
It's the final season anyway. The
Okay.
final season.
But yeah. So look out for a YouTube Mania stream on the 1st and 2nd of April, where I will be joining Saber for a wrestling stream, like we did last year, to celebrate WrestleMania. We're going to be during that weekend, but anyway. So thank you all for watching. Go subscribe to Saber. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. As always, been good seeing you all. Goodbye. See you next
Take care,
video.
everyone. Take care.
Bye bye.